Welcome to the analysis of pretty much the end of the league. We're currently in the semifinals, and we're just going to be looking at how these teams will look during the finals. And we're also going to take a gander at the other teams that didn't quite make it and see how their team was built.
Yep.
And we'll go start at the top of the list with command. I'm just gonna. I did it again. I freaking need to click on view team. There we go. And an extremely solid. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Ray's also here.
Yes, I'm kind of here. A very, very solid team indeed. He's very leveled players, definitely playoffs worthy. Kind of a shame he didn't make it though.
Oh yeah, lots of blocks. I personally like block is my favorite ability, even for like characters who aren't that like good, even in like hand-to-hand combat. That's just a something that I love to have on everyone.
Yep, it is very good to pick block as your chaos team's first ability. Because you never know which ways they will develop, like if they will get plus strength or plus agility or roll doubles. So you want to like leave other skills till later.
Mm-hmm.
So get your block, get your guard or whatever, like the basic stuff is, and then get hopefully roll a double or roll a stat plus and then build them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Something I just noticed, a lot of his SPP is fairly evenly distributed to most of his people.
yep, it was pretty nicely distributed, and I think Granola is his most SPP person, probably because he has agility +1 and has been scoring with that person.
Yeah, I think he recently got the agility +1. He was the doubtless guy before,
Oh yeah.
which he would love to go up in front of big dudes and just. He would try.
Agility Plus is amazing for chaos teams because you can get extra hands, and when you're handling the ball, you count as agility 5 then instead of just 4.
Well, if you get doubles with an agility 1, you can also have him have dodge, and have him just be the runner.
Yep.
Which is amazing.
Very, very versatile. Or if you don't roll doubles, you can get extra heads, so your agility 5 dodger finds sense like suddenly.
Right.
Still doesn't make too much sense why like extra head would make you dodge easier, but
hey. In my personal experience, I found that agility 4s are basically one of the surefire dodgers. As long as you're dodging not into a tackle zone, you have the greatest probability that you can have anyway.
yeah, you usually don't need like extra agility, but it's nice when there's very, very dangerous situations you need to do stuff, as well as like if you're trying a really long distance pass.
Mm-hmm. And heck, if you're even just like running through like a whole bunch of tackle zones, it's way better to have like a 5 or a 6. I think it might be a 6 because I think instead of having not dodging into a tackle zone, which is a +1, if you dodge into a tackle zone, that is a -1. I think. I'm not quite sure if it's just a 0 or not.
I'm pretty sure. No, you always get the +1 for the action for whatever reason. So you always get a +1 when you actually attempt to dodge.
All right. So I guess if you have a +5, you can actually attempt to run past somebody, just through all of their tackle zones, unless there's another person with the tackle zone also in there.
Multiple tackle zones usually work way better than just a single person standing in the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's this team. I think we spent a bit too much time on this, but before we completely skip to him, and go to the next person, we should probably note that he was very, very close in getting to the playoffs. If he got even at least a draw, he would have made that.
Yeah, and I think that match with Axion was pretty close. Was it? I don't remember.
The Axion versus
Oh wait, no.
DJ,
Whoever Command was fighting last.
Inferno. It
Yeah,
was actually very close. Inferno, just by the skin of his teeth, got a touchdown on the last turn.
and so that was very, very close to playoffs. So pretty well done there.
Hmm.
Right, let's look at Ministry of Desolation, which is Numa's team. A lot of injured people here.
He had fun last match. He said that quite a few times.
I think he finally has some leveled vampires.
He does. He actually got a vampire who had MVP who's already leveled, and again, that really doesn't matter since it was kind of like dead in the water anyway.
Yeah.
Like he was not making it to the playoffs. I think he knew that and tried to injure as many people as possible. I think I'm not sure what the plan was, but it definitely kind of felt that way. That he was just kind of like, I'm going to injure as many people as I can.
It was definitely a very hard team for him to start the game with.
Indeed.
And it kind of shows.
I would point out, interesting that he has pro on his vampires.
It is, it is a very decent skill to put on the vampires, but usually not the first one you pick, so.
Really, I really don't know what the first ability vampire should choose. Just block or
Yeah,
dodge.
block is usually good. Because, like, even though there's strength 4, they're still quite easy to knock down. Unless you try to play them as ball handling vampires, and, well, you can build them with agility skills instead.
That'd be really hard to have him as a ball handling vampire just because of bloodlust. Like
Yeah.
if they hit bloodlust while they're far away from everyone else.
It's actually a huge debate if you should have your thralls handle the ball or have your vampires.
I guess I would be on the side of the thralls doing that instead of the vampires. I'd probably have them as the stick next to thralls as the bashy part, and have other thralls as the go out and catch the ball and go. Unless you're moving up the field like in a giant clump, which is very hard to get to the end zone with.
It is not an easy team to play with again because of their low armor value on most of their teams.
We kind of figured that like bloodlust is probably the worst out of all the negative traits.
It is pretty bad.
It's you have a very good chance of actually injuring a thrall if you do actually hit bloodlust, which will get a person out of the game instead of just down a turn, or the vampire will be out the game.
And it's a turnover.
Yeah.
It is not that great. But I guess that's Cyanide's decision, or Games Workshop's decision to balance these guys.
I don't think that's his balance. I don't.
I don't
I don't
think
care if
so.
you got hypnotic gaze. That's not something you should have with bloodlust.
It's still kind of like, because they still have 8 armor value, which is not amazing. And the movement is not amazing either. It's the only amazing part about vampires, they're 4/4 with strength and agility.
That's really not something to write home about, to be honest.
No.
Like 4/4s, yeah, they're neat. They're great. Like here's the thing about that though. If you're an elf and you get plus strength, you are now a vampire without any of the negative strength.
Yeah.
things.
And you're faster.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not that
And that's
great.
just a normal elf. It is like base level elf. Like again, I don't care if you got hypnotic gaze. That is stupid.
It is not that great of a trade-off, or even the regeneration. It's not that great of a trade-off to just get bloodlust.
Yeah, but like that's undead in general. Again, like even the undead people, that regeneration is just a normal thing that they have on like everyone.
Yeah.
All right, I should probably get to the rest of the team so this doesn't stretch on for a while.
But yeah, let's look at the ogre team.
All right,
There's Alana's team,
she has
which
quite a
has
few
been
buffs.
getting better and better in the league.
Oh yeah, freaking like I think the one reason why she was losing is because she was playing this particular team.
Yeah, and she didn't really have a good start, to be honest. Like she didn't have time to practice in the beginning, so she started getting better quite late in the league,
Mhm.
and there was, well, not enough time to grow, so to speak.
Ah,
But I don't know, there's just some very, very decent games, very solid games from her, and it's been interesting.
it's great that she has break tackle. Like on one of her ogres. I'd love break tackle on big guys. It's so
Yeah,
much fun.
it is pretty useful. Very like spread out, like different ogres. I have to say, like there's three ogres at level and three different skills.
Well, guard, like I would freaking pick guard like almost immediately. That's something that's almost like needed for ogres because ogres even like the break tackle thing. Even though I was just like, oh man, break tackle's awesome. You don't want your ogres to be that mobile. Like it's good to have the option to have them move out of a tackle zone if they feel like it, but they can. It's not like they can't easily just turn around and hit the dude. That's
It is pretty hard to like, because well, technically you only get strength skill access.
Mhm.
Oh, which kind of makes me think she probably rolled a double somewhere, like was
Tackle.
yeah, it was tackle.
Yeah, I think that was a double.
Yeah, so that's a general skill, which is interesting choice since a block would work way better.
Block is very nice. And yes, that would probably work a lot better. It would defend against the people who do have block, and it would also like for even those like agility guys who do have dodge, which I don't think there's actually too many people in this league that have dodge.
No, there's a lot of high agility people, but dodge is rare because well, elves don't start with dodge.
Right.
Uh,
Um. Yeah. That I think it's about the same odds, block and tackle, but the thing with block is it protects you from something that's always going to happen. Like it's not like a circumstance like tackle where you're going against somebody who has dodge. This is block is like if if you attack with a both down, which happens all the time, you have something to hit the person with, and that's essential. And it's also a good defense against it too. Like when somebody rolls like attacker down and both down, they've rolled two attacker downs.
Yep, which is very, very good for ogre team because you don't want to like do your stand-ups that often.
Right.
And only one startling's at leveled.
It's got a lot of SPP.
Yeah, short feet.
14. Almost leveled up again.
This Snotlings have a huge issue is that they're same as skinks, why the lizardman teams are not so good because they only get agility access on normal rolls.
Oh, okay. And they
So
already have dodge, so
Yeah, and they all start as agility 3, so it's kind of like, hey, what do I
Oh.
want to pick?
Yeah, like I also been looking at this team, like the people who made this, like it is almost made to fail. Like fairly low movement action, armor value of a ridiculous low, agility of fairly average, actually. It's not even like a high agility, and strength plummeting below average.
The
Like
thing is,
three is average.
as a trait Tichy, like for the Snotlings, was much better. And then they nerfed it like pretty bad. Like, because, well, right now it's like, well, your tackle zones, when people dodge into them, don't count, and you get +1 to dodge rolls. But earlier on, you got a plus for fouling because you're sneakier or whatever, and you also got. I don't remember actually. You got +1 to something else as well, and there was no like negative for tackle zones.
Hmm.
So the Snotlings were much better, but the Ogre's not much different.
Wow. Did Still, like, freaking just looking at both the Snotlings and the Ogres are neat. Like they have good freaking armor value. Their agility's 2, that's fine because they're big dudes. Strength of 5, that's good because they're big dudes. And movement of 5, that's fine because they're big dudes.
Yeah.
The thing about them is they're freaking like bonehead. This is this is what I would love for for these guys to put into the game. If they roll, let's just say double sixes, they have the option of removing like a negative trait.
Yep. So either strength plus or remove a negative trait, because you have those star players that don't like the only difference between them and your normal player is that they don't have a negative trait usually.
And that would actually make a lot of these guys really good.
Yeah. And like
Um, or freaking like just something harder than that, but have the option to actually have it get removed somehow.
yeah, and I guess it's very like it's kind of a really difficult team to play. I think a lot of people say it's like the lowest win loss value, like so the most losses in the leagues right now. It's the Ogre team.
Oh, you mean this league?
No, not this league, like in general.
Oh, okay.
It's the hardest team to play.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, let's move on and look at Sparta's team,
All right.
who actually did decently in the league with 1-1-5.
Yes. It looks like he's been having fairly bad luck with people either dying or just not getting enough money
And
or something of the side.
he's been trying to play very, very
Bashy.
offensive elves, like almost like dark elves.
Hmm.
And I kind of feel like the results show because if you look at his team, there's a lot of injured people, and there's one missing, which is probably dead.
I'm. Yeah, that he died fairly early, I think. I don't remember where. But I have actually played this exact team on console. Excuse me. And I played it fairly bashy, but when looking at his gameplay, he didn't even try to just like skip past people. It was very much he was very focused on trying to hit people, like
Yeah,
a
his
bit too focused, I would guess.
frontline tactic, which is like basically dwarf tactic, hit everything that moves till they don't move anymore, and then just walk in the touchdown.
Pretty much. And yeah, the War Dancer. I love the War Dancer, and I would say these things are not bad, like strip ball, tackle, stuff like that. and it's fairly solid for what the team is trying to do. The problem again is tackle. Uh, a lot of the people don't have dodge in this league.
Yeah, it's a very good player or answer, but like you kind of like the thing is with them is uh, very like there's a lot of like just skills for them already, and like you kind of hope you want to roll a double or a stat plus.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been hoping for. I got like 2 war dancers, and I don't think either one of them got stats up.
Then you're just like, yeah, I don't know what to pick anymore. I could pick something, but it's such a waste.
Yeah, pretty much. I think jump up is one of the better ones to have.
I think also one of the major things that, so to speak, screwed Sparta over is that absolute lack of rerolls for the whole season.
Oh yeah, freaking. mm.
Because you really can't play passing play too well if you don't have any rerolls.
I was playing really recklessly, and again the console version I was playing, so I had to get 5 rerolls. But even just normal reckless, I would hit 3 to 4 like rerolls per halftime.
Yeah, he did not really use too many. Well, didn't really buy too many rerolls. A lot of people
He
start
bought
with
0.
Yeah. And he has cheerleaders though and assistant coaches.
Yeah, I guess right at the beginning, I think it would be probably better to get rerolls than apothecaries.
Yeah, a lot of people for elves they start with at least 2 rerolls. That's like bare minimum.
Yeah, I don't think he knew this, but when you actually start up something, your rerolls cost about half.
Yeah, the rerolls cost half, and I believe he was telling me that he didn't have enough money, which I was feeling odd about, but
It's like a 120 gold,
yeah,
120,000.
which is like 60 at the beginning.
Right.
So not, but very expensive players for elves.
Mm. I think the apothecary stays the same number throughout.
Yeah, apothecary always 50.
So yeah, if you for people actually playing this, tip: make sure you get the rerolls first because they get expensive if you don't get them right at the beginning.
Yeah, double price, nothing to. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. All right, I suppose enough for this team.
Yep, and we're gonna cover the actual 4 teams that made to the playoffs. Which first one is Axion's team, which is the Dwarf team. He has a bunch of money saved up, and everyone is leveled, as well as decent amount of rerolls.
Wow, yeah, it's a lot of rerolls. Good apothecaries, cheerleaders. We've talked about this before. Cheerleaders in general are not something that you should really focus on,
Yeah.
or assistant coaches, and even between the 2 assistant coaches would probably be better, just because they have a better result thing.
Yeah, and not many people get some. That's the other thing, I guess. But
He is somewhat evenly distributed. There's a few dwarf blockers that just haven't gotten any SPP because they haven't hit enough. The Minotaur, he's actually bought about partway through. It still has a ton of money, so I think it looks like he has gotten pretty good luck with the treasury.
yeah, he has definitely enough money to buy another reroll and another Bull Centaur. Because Bull Centaur's at 70k.
Oh, okay.
And the reroll at this point is 140, I believe.
Well, let's get down to all the players that he's leveled up. Stand firm and block. Stand firm, I think he saw what Variax did with his flesh golems and said, "I want to do that."
It's kind of nice to get. It's nice skill to get. So in the this league, I would probably get guard instead of stand firm
hmm
because I mean his dwarf. It's mostly because his dwarf blocker is only like two of them leveled.
Hmm.
And it's nice to have a bull centaur who's mobile, well, more mobile than any of the dwarves,
Hmm.
to just like put him there and he has guard and you'd have to focus him down and it's hard because he has four strengths.
Right. I think that's why he got stand firm. Again, the Variax showed how stand firm can really be done.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that was the thought process behind that. Still fairly good. Like I wouldn't say like stand firm is a bad choice. Just probably something I wouldn't have picked.
No, it's those are not the second skill or the first skill.
I think he got block as his first. I'm
So,
quite sure.
yeah, probably not the second skill still.
Um, so since he already has block and he already has tackle, he's most likely just going to get guard for the rest of his guys, unless he rolls a double of some sort. And I would even recommend, as funny as this would be, because I would love this to happen, I would get them to have dodge.
Yeah, dodge is very good with dwarves as well, or any of the mutations you would pick.
Oh yeah.
Because doubles means mutation access, which probably means claws,
Claw, yeah, freaking, I forgot about that.
which is great because, well, the blockers are mostly in the front,
Right.
not cheap people. And
Just another guard for the standard guys. So let's go look at these hobgoblins.
yep,
I saw this.
Your basic utility or logistic people in the dwarf team.
So he's got one kicker, which is good for the most part.
You get
Um,
general skill access with them, which is a lot of skills you can get actually.
Mhm.
Helpful.
Dodge and sure hand, so that person is most likely the runner for the most part.
Yep.
Dirty player, which I saw before, and I'm not exactly sure how that works.
It's basically a mighty blow, only for fouling.
Oh, okay.
So it's a fouling mighty blow,
All
which
right.
is not a bad idea since he does have extra players and he does have more than enough money to buy even more players.
Mm-hmm. And on top of that, he really does like to foul. It's one of his things that he likes to do. And he has yet to choose this person as the recording of this.
Yep.
So we're gonna see how that one works out.
Or goblins. I believe I saw one of his update videos and he was complaining that only his goblins are doubling.
As I would too. They kept getting MVPs. Like I'm not quite sure we can check this, but I'm almost positive the person who just leveled up actually got MVP. And I think that's one of no, that's not one of his new people.
Yeah, he's actually two of his hobgoblins got MVPs, and if you go to the career stats, you can see there. But one of his dwarfs, I believe, is this his dwarf? Yeah, is that one of his dwarfs got two MVPs? I believe that's why one of his dwarfs leveled, but probably because he's been scoring mostly with his goblins or his bull centaur.
Oh yeah, lots with his bull centaur. He loves to score with his bull centaur.
It's not a bad idea. A lot of people even like do, hey, my bull centaur is a scoring person, even I have agility too.
Yeah, no, I think that's what he's been doing a lot. He's been trying to get that ball to the bull centaur. We've also been noting that he's been abnormally good at picking up the ball, even with agility of 2.
Yeah. Which is pretty nice. He gets a lovely helmet at level 3, I believe. Okay.
All right, let's go check the other one, Kiko, who just got in the skin of his teeth, tied with Command over here. Same 10 points, but he won out.
Definitely much lower team value compared to any of the other teams.
Hmm.
But it doesn't say much because it's from here on it's a scoring game.
Right. This is like stop trying to build your characters. This is the time that you actually want to focus on winning.
Yeah, because if you well, if you don't win, you're out. So it doesn't matter how many people you bash into the ground.
Yeah, and you're not even going to have to worry about them coming back either, because, well, if you win, if you lose, you're not going to fight them again.
Yep. I see he got a ton of replacement goblins, I think.
Um, I think he's gotten one other just replacement goblin. I don't think he got any more.
I don't believe he didn't have Bananufin as well as Ufin bot version 2 as well as some other Ufin.
Oh, interesting.
So he does I believe he got new goblins for himself.
It might have been because they had negatives to them.
Yeah, it's not a big deal because goblins are only 40k, and he got extra player compared to how he started with, because he started with 11 and he was 12.
Yeah, this is a fairly good, solid team for what it is. This is actually fairly impressive that you actually got to the playoffs with such a hard to manage team.
Yep, there's it's very nice skill choices. There's the goblin with 2 heads.
So you can
There's
finally be a really, really good dodger.
Yep,
And dodge, stunty, and 2 heads means he can pretty much just run down the field and have, just like if he rolls a 1, he'll fail. It also had to remind you that he has to roll 2 ones to actually fail.
yeah, it's a reroll. And there's also a lineman with wrestle, which is a great choice. Like, I'd like to have at least 2 people with wrestle if possible, but 1 to start with. Because a lot of people like to give their ball, like, when they get the ball, they want to give it to someone who has block.
Mhm.
And wrestle negates block quite well.
Yes, it is good for getting the ball out of somebody's hands.
So you don't need to worry about rolling like a actual like especially with people like Inferno's team who has block and dodge. Or any other teams that can roll block and dodge. Like wrestle is great.
Is he able to get strip ball? Because that might have been a better chance option.
Strip ball would be nice as well. So
I only bring this up because push is just a higher chance on the roll in general.
yeah, I believe he can because it's in general skills.
Okay. But wrestle's not too bad either because it does protect you from just normal attacks as well. Like it's not just to get balls out of people's hands. It also works well the other way.
Yeah, because you're still double down. We'll cancel it out.
Mhm.
And then he get Skaven's Thrower with extra hands. Some mutations here,
Mm-hmm.
which are actually displayed. He has 3 hands.
So he's very good at picking up, catching, and intercepting with this particular character, and also has a bad back.
Which is not a big issue if he doesn't get
No, not that big. No.
so technically he can. I don't know. I guess he can pick up the ball very easy with this guy and then pass it to someone. Because he does start with pass. But then he has his other thrower who has block and dodge.
Nice. I agree wholeheartedly, Kiko. Nice. I love those because it's basically like you can't hit this guy. It's very hard to hit this guy.
It is pretty great, so I'm not really sure what he's planning to do with this thrower. I think he might have just chosen the skills as in, because we're in this league. That's pretty short, all things considered, and
Yeah.
he just wanted a person who's not hard to knock over.
He might have been the ball carrier or just freaking like I personally love the 2 combinations of block and dodge like a lot. it is something that like people for some reason think like maybe some elaborate skills would be really nice and whatnot. You have no idea how good block and dodge is. Like they do so much for you. It's ridiculous.
Yep, it's block and dodge or wrestle and dodge, depending on what you prefer.
Hmm.
It's very solid skills to get first.
Right.
But yeah,
It's got a +1 agility on the next guy, which is really good, especially for a person who has block.
yep, Blitzer who has +1 to agility, very very good because this is also his one of his faster players with movement 7.
Hmm. Next guy has claw, which he's been using readily throughout the entirety of the league, and it has been scaring off quite a few people.
It's a good skill to get for someone who's well a blitzer.
Right.
Well, you're blitzer people in them. And it's very, very great to take care of any people who has like extra armor.
I'm quite sure. Did he get this partway through the league, Big Bill, or was he always there?
No, he started like
Okay.
with this is the one plus, one of the fewer pluses with this team. You get to start with whatever you want.
Okay.
'Cause it is a linemen are very cheap, the goblins are very cheap.
Okay. And well, not too many other people have leveled up. I think we've also pointed out that he might have replaced a few of his guys with probably some fresh ones.
Yep, because looking at his money, as well as he didn't buy any new rerolls.
Yes.
Started this 4, went this 4 the whole season.
All right.
Let's look at Varag's team, which is huge.
Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Where did 15
Zombie,
go?
zombie, 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 zombie.
Well, let's go. Let's try to find out who the heck he actually put in and took out. Because freaking 15's gone, whoever he is. He's just
Yeah.
gone.
Someone probably died. It's probably a zombie, though.
I don't think anyone died. He might have just, like, bought somebody and then kicked somebody else.
Or he might just like went like, "Hey, I'm gonna skip 15."
Alright.
I don't touch 15.
Alright, we got the freaking werewolf with block. Good.
Very good, because
Yeah.
well, frenzy.
Mhm.
Frenzy
Hey.
without block is always bad.
A flesh golem with block, I seriously can't argue with that at all. Like, I love block. I will not be a person that would just be like, no, block's not that good.
Which it's very nice. Like flash golems were, they used to be different. They used to be a big guy.
Okay.
It's only in this version of Cyanide Blood Balls they became actual Strength 4. Because before they had Strength 5 and Bonehead.
Okay. Yeah, I much prefer this version than the other one.
Now they're more reliable, which is very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of plays the strengths of Undead team, where you play very, very solidly.
Mm-hmm.
And he has 2 whites with guard as well. Very good.
Yes. They already have block, so guard is an easy second ability to get.
Yep. And especially in the shorter league.
Again, a very solid ghoul. Block, dodge, sure hands. That's his ball carrier, so that's basically what you need for your ball carrier.
Yep. That's very good as well, because, well, ghouls are squishy.
You basically want your guys to be as hard to hit as possible.
Yeah,
I would recommend that to any and all teams, to be honest.
You don't get a apothecary unless you buy one during the inducements for the undead team, and ghouls don't get regeneration.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So whatever injury you have to stick with it.
He's gotten a few injuries for a few of his other zombies. Fractured skull, down movement, and sadly down strength for another one.
I don't think we'll be seeing too much of that zombie because, well, he has plenty of replacements.
Indeed he does.
Yeah. And he'll probably have his zombie with block as well as a zombie with kick on the field.
Yes. I'm surprised a lot of people have a designated kicker.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice because some, like, there's a lot of teams that just don't use kick at all.
I
Like,
don't
you have
use
a full
kick.
team of fully leveled people and nobody has kick.
Yeah, well, here's my thinking in the matter. People spread out their team so it can get the ball wherever it goes because they don't know. Nobody knows where the ball's going to go. And with kick, it just shortens how you know where the ball will go as a person who has kick. And that really is not going to matter too much. It's I guess it prevents them to get a ball kicked straight into somebody's hands in the front line, but besides that, which barely happens,
Yeah.
I think that might be an ability that people consider to be good, but I think it's just more of a I don't particularly care about it since it doesn't affect much.
No, it is. It doesn't affect a ton, to be honest. Like, there's usually much better skills to get than kick. But a lot of people have been wanting this. It's very good for fast scoring teams, like teams that are like elves and stuff, where you just kick it to the like really really back.
Mhm.
But it's still kind of is like not the first thing you'd get usually.
All right. Let's go to the last team, Inferno's team.
Yep, which is his Dark Elf team, which has been doing pretty well since considered.
Very evenly distributed in experience and stuff like that.
Which is a
A
very
lot
good
of
idea.
yes.
Like, that's one thing with any elf team, is that a lot of people focus on the main characters, so to speak, like the witch elves and the war dancers.
Hmm.
And you have like teams in the leagues, like in the other leagues, which are just like level 7 witch elf or war dancer and level 1 everything else.
Which I think is fairly silly. At
Yeah.
least two, most likely three, but it's surprising to me that you would even have people who are still level 1 when you have somebody even like level 4 or 5 in your like if you have somebody who's level 5, there should be maybe one person at level 1.
Yeah. Unless you're like a Camurai team, which are all like agility too. But it's still kind of like, especially with the elf team, because you can score with anyone. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because like everyone is agility 4.
So we're not quite sure how this is going to work. This team because we Inferno from the time that we're recording this has not leveled up or changed any of his characters or probably spent any of his
And
treasury monies.
he does has a lot of money saved up as well.
Hmm. You can replace a few people if needed. Probably not going to. Maybe this one blitzer with a smashed ankle, but I think that might not happen.
No, this is pretty like he is pretty solid. He has his witch elf who has block.
Hmm.
Starts with dodge, so
Yeah.
becomes a very very powerful witch elf over here, as well as a runner with pass, which actually works very
Very
well
old
with
dump
dump,
off. Yeah.
which
That's
means when you're dumping off and passing to one of your players, you can reroll that pass.
hmm.
So a lot of people like debate like if you want pass first or if you want nerves of steel,
Hmm.
because it allows you to negate that people attacking you or maybe even more people assisting the attacking person, because you get negative for those on
Oh.
passing during dump off.
I think Nerves of Steel. Agility 4 is fairly good for like just a solid throw. Um, Like if you don't have any negatives with that to begin with, and if it's a short pass, that's almost like 1 out of 6, which is the best you can have. And if you do fail that, you have your own reroll.
Yep. It's a good dump off is great, but the thing is dump off works very well with two runners, and it's quite surprising that he hasn't got himself another runner yet
Ah,
because
okay,
you pass to each other.
interesting.
And a lot of people actually play dwarf teams at like that as well, just with dump off.
I'm
'Cause they also
surprised because dump off is something that like only particularly happens at the beginning of the attack. Like it's not like when you get hit down that you will throw. It's more of like when somebody attacks you, you just immediately throw, no matter how the roll actually works
yeah.
out.
You do get to choose though, if you
Yeah.
want to throw. But the thing is, like dump off is actually a lot of people don't know how to deal with it, but it's easily shut down if you have someone who's built to intercept.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, hey, his ball is mine now.
You just need somebody just next to him in general. You can just be like, it's mine now.
Or pass block, so you get to move.
Oh yeah, that too.
So yeah, it's very easily shut. That's one weakness of dump off, but
Well, you need
not
a character built for that too,
yeah,
for
but
specifically.
really, really few people know that. Well, use that, and really few people would actually build a character to do that.
Indeed, I did that once, and it was fun. But it's still something that's fairly difficult.
Yep.
Then we have somebody with kick.
Yep, a lineman was kick, which
I
is not
I
too
think
bad.
that's one of his first abilities that he got. Um, and I've already said my piece about kick, but hey, if it is farther back in the field, it does take a lot more moves to get it back up the field. But eh,
Just not a bad idea since his
there's a lot of slower teams in this
yeah,
league.
which is okay.
Uh,
The like
line.
personally, I like to get my linemen all of them dodge first.
Oh yeah, dodge is really good.
Because that's usually what I do my first turn. I just like dodge my lineman.
Which is not a bad move at all, because that's basically a surefire just kind of step away from a really bad tackle zone.
Yeah. And then you have a lineman with wrestle.
Uh-huh. That's probably his designated wrestling dude. So if somebody has block and he has the ball, he's probably gonna run this particular character.
It is a good idea. Yeah.
In a short note for this particular team, I love elves because they're so flexible.
Yeah.
Any single one of them can do a pass and catch, and there's no like,
Yeah.
there's no weak link in it.
It is very solid team. It's the team you can win the match with just three people left on the field.
And Inferno has actually done that a few times, sort of.
Yep.
He's been extremely resourceful with just a few people.
The thing with like bashy teams, you need all of your players.
Mm.
Like,
That's to cover everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, when you get a disadvantage numerically, kind of go like, it's like, hey, I can like you can try bash more people obviously off the field, but like scoring becomes more and more difficult,
Mm.
like a lot more compared to agility teams.
Right.
Then looking at his leveled people, he has a lineman with block.
Hmm. He has a lineman with block, another wrestle with a smashed ankle, which is fine. That's not going to do too much.
And the lineman was leader, which is interesting choice.
It,
I actually was talking to him about that a while ago, but it was a choice because to get leader you need to roll double.
oh, so he didn't get like one of the like strength skills or
Yeah, I was going like, guard would be pretty good.
yeah, like I can see his thought process and taking that though for one particular main reason. It's really good to get guard early, but this is late.
Oh,
And building your character with more things is most likely not going to happen in this league.
well, this is basically a free reroll in a sense.
Right. I think we've discussed this in the match itself when we're watching the Inferno's match. The difference between having a reroll when level up and
Oh, and I think like wait, it's not a free. It's free two rerolls, more precise.
see, sort of. It's basically that it is just a flat out free reroll, and this is how it works. Is basically that it works just as well as your other rerolls. That actually just like it will come back at halftime.
Yep.
So it really is like in the last match he had two 3 out of 2 and the first one, and then 3 out of 2 in the
Yeah.
second one.
So it's technically you get two extra rerolls per match, which is not bad.
I still see it as just like a normal reroll
Oh,
because
yeah.
like normal rerolls still do that. Like they come back at halftime.
Yeah. So I kind of usually count rerolls per match instead of actual rerolls, but
Okay.
it's kind of it's kind of a nice choice in shorter leagues as well, leader skill, because longer leagues you can afford that extra reroll.
Yeah, yeah.
It's usually not that big of an issue, but shorter leagues, your money management has to be way better. So now he has that extra cash
Hmm.
for whatever he wants.
Yeah, as we said before, it's fairly expensive if you want to buy it later. Um,
Which is 100K for Dark Elves, which
mhm.
means right now he can get two people actually. As there
um,
two extras or do anything else with that? I don't know.
he has 2 people again that he has not leveled up, but more than not, he has an assassin who's leveled up, and I'm very curious on how he's going to use that.
I'll be curious on what he rolls because if he rolls a double and get multiple block with that guy, it's gonna be good.
Oh, I was thinking more of like, no, he can't get mutations. Never mind. I was like, he can freaking get claw, and it's gonna be so good. But yeah, multiple block would probably be pretty nice.
Yeah, it can stop two people, which is pretty really good actually. But it'll depend on his rolls because if you just get normal rolls with assassin, jump up is great.
Oh, what if he got mighty blow?
It doesn't work with stab.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
None of the North Claw or Mighty Blow, it doesn't work with stab or chainsaw. Like if you look at the Mighty Blow skill description, it says it doesn't combine with chainsaw or stab.
Oh, well, okay.
So stab is literally just an armor roll, and it's kind of like it's curious, like because normal builds with assassin, you just get jump up and you get multiple block if you're
Yeah.
lucky enough, and you're done.
Okay. Yeah, I can see how jump up will work just because, like, even if he's on the ground, he doesn't need to take a turn to stand up and attack. Like, he doesn't need to blitz to do that. He can
Yeah,
literally just stand up and attack somebody.
and usually assassins do end up on the ground.
They do get targeted quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately, they do end up on the ground. So it's pretty good. Like it's kind of curious what he'll get with that money. Maybe even more, and one more reroll just to get 4 rerolls or 8. I don't know how you count, but hey, other than that, it's very good team to be going to the playoffs with.
Indeed.
Right.
And that would be it.
Let's look at the Hall of Fame real quick and
Okay.
wrap this up.
Well, the most amount of SPP is actually whoever the flip this guy is.
Granola.
That would be command steam
Yeah,
or some
that's.
steam.
I think that's his agility plus character.
Okay,
And then you got Scooter, which is
of course.
not very surprising.
That is Variax's touchdown character. I remember him well.
And then Spartus made top three actually with his War Dancer, which is pretty impressive. Well,
Oh,
he's tied for top three
great. Yeah.
with Axion's Purge Longbrow, which is a dwarf, I believe.
Oh, well, there's Hoofin.
Yes, it's Hoof Stomp right behind.
Hmm. And Ratman Scat. Nice. He actually he's got two people in here, and I don't freaking I'm terrible with names. Scratcher,
Scratch.
Scratchy,
Scratchy. And there's also
Lilith. Oh,
yeah,
good old Lilith.
which actually one SPP away from getting another level,
Hmm.
but that's probably won't be his major concern during the match.
Probably not. No. Touchdown, Scooter, of course. Wow.
That's that's pretty much all of Verek's touchdowns, I think, except for two maybe, because
I
like
think Lilith did a touchdown at one point.
oh, there's Lilith with three,
Oh yeah, there it is.
and there's also Salvador, which is a white, I believe, with two more.
Looks like touchdowns might be a rarity in this.
And then you have Axon's touchdowns, which are six by the Purge Lowbrow, so that's probably not a dwarf then. It's most
That's
likely a
probably
hobgoblin then.
yeah.
And then, of course, his Bull Centaur.
Yep.
Four touchdowns by Inferno's Witch Elf as well.
Nice.
And Axion, not Axion, Kiko is here as well with his Ratman Scat and Patchy.
Yes, and I'm quite sure there's a lot more twos, but we're not going to be able to see those.
Yeah.
All right. Best thrower. Kiva?
Sparta's team was six passes, as well as DJ Numa's team was six passes.
They really do like to pass. It's good to see because there's just not too much going on in there. And a slew of just a whole bunch of other teams doing just that. Looks like there's
A lot of twos.
wait, Majesty of Desolation. Oh, this must be more of DJ Numa's team. So
Yeah.
he has been very throwy, which is
And
good. I'm not.
two dukes, so two vampires.
Well, actually, three dukes.
Three dukes? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
three dukes.
all of his vampires been chucking.
A lot of vampires.
Indeed, I think it's all three of his vampires.
Which is not a bad idea. I think his main problem was he was always either throwing with a Thrall to a vampire or with a vampire to a Thrall.
Hmm.
So like you're throwing to the agility 3, which is not that great. Or
It's
so
okay.
it's kind of like, and he's been doing pretty long passes, so it's kind of like, if he had two vampires, it might turn out pretty differently.
I see. Best intercepts. Yeah, we've barely seen them, but we did see them once in one of the earlier matches that, one of the later matches that we've recently done. We've seen an intercept, which was amazing. Loved it.
Yep, it kind of is a viable strategy to build someone to intercept balls, especially because like a lot of people have problems with elf teams,
Mm-hmm.
so they kind of base themselves on throwing it. But there's ways to trick people as well who build intercept, because you can do a very short throw.
All right, most violent player, and I am astounded to see. Looks like Command. Sorry,
Yeah,
Command's
he's
team has been dominating this board. I was going to be
definitely.
sure that the Dwarves of Chaos would do that, but apparently they have not been getting that many.
He's been getting a lot of KOs. As well as stuns, but not actual injuries, unfortunately.
Nope. That's pretty much this entire board right here. Like Lilith has been doing a few. Freaking. There's a lot of characters that I'm not particularly too familiar with, um, but just in general, it looks like Command has been dominating the board with how many people that he's injured.
Yep, definitely up there with taking all of the first, second, and third place, basically.
Hmm.
And, you actually see Deepwood over there as well.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Sparta's team. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then we have best runners, which yards gained while carrying the ball, basically. Not too much surprise there, though.
Scooter still at the top. I think we've actually checked that before.
Yeah.
Um, looks like Patchy and Ratman Scat, his two kind of touchdown people, as I've seen. Um,
Seeing those names all over the place.
it looks like this is Axine's touchdown person.
Which is,
This is Sparta's person, right? The Gila.
yeah, that is Sparta's. Wait, what?
Oh.
Yeah, that's Sparta's person. I don't know who that is, though.
I think we've seen it before that like that person has done a few touchdowns.
Like, I'm not really sure which player that is. Is it
Don't know.
not the child for dancer or just a normal guy? No idea.
Don't know. Well, there's a lot of people who've ran. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah. And then we have best rower, which actually Sparta's team is there. It's 180 yards strong. That is pretty impressive.
Wow. Is that like all together or just like a single?
Yeah, I think that's the single most.
Oh, okay.
Which is pretty ridiculous. I think that's the like longest throw he did was when he was playing against Axton.
Oh yeah.
He had to do that really, really long throw across the field and run up another person and do a pass to score.
Good
It was pretty
times.
ridiculous.
Oh man. Well, again, more of the Dukes over here.
Yeah, more of the Dukes.
And another person that's just a thrall that's also in this. It looks like this is dominated by just a few people. There's Inferno's team that has 3 slots, and it looks like Command's team with 2.
He has been throwing quite a lot, which not usually what you see Chaos team doing.
Mhm.
Not till you get extra hands and stuff like that.
I think we can skip the survivors.
Because
It's,
well, so there's been people dying, but there's nothing too much to talk about here.
nope. And there's been 2 kills
Yep. Well, 2 kills by people.
by 2 people.
Yep.
I think the other ones that happened was more of like tripped or something.
Yeah, basically tripping or getting close lined when running past someone.
Mhm.
Unfortunate.
And best receiver.
Yes.
Let's check this out. It looks like Sparta's team, I think.
Sparta and DJ Numa again up there, definitely.
Hmm. And again, surprisingly, the Chaos team has been doing pretty well.
Yeah, not something you see too often, but
Hmm.
It's there. As well as Inferno's team is there as well. And even Gaxian was 2 over there, actually. That is pretty. That is impressive, actually. You
Hmm.
don't see dwarf serves that much.
And wow, this is gonna be the last one. I don't think we're gonna be doing this at the end and just kind of going like, "Wow, could you see these people's stats now?" Even like we're kind of at the end, so like kind of pointing out what happened.
This is the end of the league, so might as well. I don't know. I might show up for like once the finals end, just on the stream, so we can talk together with you and Squee
Yeah.
about how the whole thing ended. But this is basically for the analysis videos.
Whoa. Bye,
Just,
everyone.
uh,